All right, excellent. So, my name's Steve Brotman. I'm the managing partner for Alpha Partners. Alpha is here, let's go here. So, we're a tech growth equity fund that shares carry with our VC partners. So, could you raise your hand if you're a VC or an investor? All right, so we're a VC's VC. So what does that mean? It means that when you invest early, oftentimes you can't do your B and C and D rounds. That's where we come in, and we'll pay you up to half our carry, or 5 to 10 points of carry for those opportunities in the B and C realm. And we've been doing this for about 12 years now. It's actually a massive business. About $100 billion a year of pro rata rights goes unused. So all the folks that are doing early stage, that's exactly what we do. We've actually been working with Charlie Fetterman and Silvertech. Charlie's on our board, working with him for quite some time, and 95% of the time, pro rata rights go unused. This is what the ecosystem looks like in the U.S. There are 2,500 VCs in the U.S. 2/3 of the time, these are these small and mid-sized VCs. They're in 78% of all technology startups. Yet 95% of the time, they can't use their pro rata rights. So that's the opportunity. We partner with these small and mid-sized VCs. What this can mean, actually, for these VCs is, this is a case study where we worked with Ben Sun of Launchtime Ventures. It was a $2 million accelerator, and he invested $2 million into 10 e-commerce companies, one of which became the biggest e-commerce company in South Korea named Coupang, became the Amazon of South Korea. He owned a 6% stake in Coupang. And so when he came up with the E round and Sequoia was leading the round at a $1.1 billion valuation, he had an opportunity to invest $16 million into that round. We participated in that and actually did another $15 million in the next round after that. He ended up making $45 million just from that one investment. And that's what we do at Alpha, is we partner with VCs on their best opportunities. And I'll share with you in a second why this is relevant in this context. Is that my first investment ever as a VC 25 years ago was a company called LivePerson. So a lot of folks know LivePerson if you've been in Israel. Became a multi-billion-dollar exit. A few years back, we also invested in a firm called Vroom, which also had a nice exit. And in partnership with Silvertech, we actually ended up doing Semperis when KKR led the Series C. And then recently, we just did V Labs with when General Atlantic did that deal. And it just got us thinking, geez, there's a little bit of pattern recognition in the venture industry. Maybe we should lean in on this. Maybe there's an opportunity post-October 7th to look at Israel in a different light. And so actually, we went on, I don't know if did anyone hear about Kevin Ryan's Israeli tech mission trip? So just curious. So I went on this trip partially because I wanted to see what was going on, but also to really see what was happening in the tech community. And we visited the Iron Dome Command Center. I actually had an opportunity to pick some cherry tomatoes. We went to the Paris Center for Peace and saw everything there. And but most importantly, we met over 50 VCs, and we hosted a VC brunch, and we also for about 15 VCs, and headed over to Google Startups for a big event, and then hosted a big event with about 200 VCs and technologists towards the end of the trip, and that's really, I think some of the speakers here mentioned how important it is to actually go visit. And we would agree with that. So the interesting part is we were starting to dig into our VC thesis at Alpha is that it turns out that Israel is very similar to the US. 60% of all VC firms have less than $200 million under management. Half of those have less than 100 million, or 40% have less than 100 million under management. And these are the firms that would benefit the most from an alpha strategy. We took one step deeper, and the crazy part, and Charlie pointed this out, did you know that there was over 400 Israeli startups in New York? I did not know that. But do you also know that 25% of all unicorns in New York were Israeli? That is crazy. I did not know that. Further, 16% of all unicorns in Silicon Valley are Israeli founded. So for our business model, that's more than in Israel, by the way. So for our perspective, we're like, geez, what are we doing not being in Israel? We also looked at investment efficiency. It turns out that Israeli unicorns require 30 to 70% less capital to become a unicorn. That's amazing. And by the way, it's not often, this is not something that we jump up and down about, but typically the Israeli discount is between 5 and 30%. Today it's more than 50%. These are some firms, obviously, that have come to Israel lately. You know, notably Sequoia, and I think one other firm recently raised a big amount of money to invest more in Israel. These are the bluest of the blue chip firms. The reason is Israel is becoming the second Silicon Valley. So if you think about, and we've talked a little bit about this earlier at this session here, but the impact of AI. Israel is already a leader in cybersecurity. It's already a leader in defense tech. With the rise of AI, it's very, very possible with the transition of probably 5 to 10% of global GDP, that's $5 to $10 trillion, and probably more over the next 10 or 15 years. This is going to be a massive opportunity for Israeli tech companies, and we just heard about that in the last panel just on property tech. So we're super excited about raising our next fund. It'll be focused in Israel. We've already circled probably $30 million just from our LPs, a few phone calls. What we're doing here right now is that, you know, to the extent that you have a B round company in Israel or later that you think we should take a look at, let us know. We're also thinking about starting another mission, a tech mission for VCs and LPs to come experience what we experienced and bring a bunch of money to Israel and Israeli startups. So reach out to me, Steve at Alpha Partners. Thank you so much.